Hello, everyone. It's Mrs. Six, and we are going to go over the assignments due for October 1st. So this video is the video you will be watching instead of coming to your live session because remember, I am going to be for the next 2 weeks. I will not be in office. I will be working remotely. So we have Unit 2, so go ahead and make sure that we are clicking on that and launching it. And we go into, um, sorry, Unit 3, not Unit 2. My bad. So we're going into Edgar Allan Poe. So this is the first assignment that we are looking at for um, Edgar Allan Poe. And basically, the first assignment is that you're going to be looking at is just a short kind of introduction. It's Edgar Allan Poe mystery assignment explanation. So this basically just is the short explanation of his assignment or of this assignment. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through this with you a little bit so you know exactly what to expect and what you're doing. So when Edgar Allan Poe drew his last breath in the early morning hours of October 7th, 1849, a mystery began which has caused endless debate among historians, literary scholars, dozens of biographers, medical doctors, amateur detectives, and thousands of Poe devotees all over the world. The world had lost one of its most famous and notorious literary figures at the age of 40. While popular opinion at the time indicated that death was probably due to alcohol abuse, this was the most immediately disputed by a variety of writers on the subject, including his attending physician while hospitalized prior to his death. Some alternative theories of Poe's cause of death include trauma, murder, brain infections, including tuberculosis, brain tumors, epilepsy, diabetes, rabies, and heart disease. So there were a lot of different suspicions of why Poe died or how he died. So, really quick, this gives you just a little bit about his final days, and this is a chronological order of his kind of last final days. So, late September, Poe told his friends he was returning to New York to work on his magazine, and he planned a short trip to Philadelphia to edit poems. He planned to return to Richmond to live. On Thursday, September 27th, 1849, Poe left Richmond to travel through Baltimore to Philadelphia and then New York. He left his trunk of clothing and personal effects behind at the Swan Tavern in Richmond. Friday, September 28th, 1849, Poe arrived in Baltimore, but little else is known about his whereabouts or activities while there. He never kept his appointments in Philadelphia. Kind of odd, right? Wednesday, October 3rd, 1849. An acquaintance of Poe's describes finding Poe rather the worse for wear and in need of immediate assistance at a tavern. When the doctor arrived, Poe was unconscious and in cheap soiled clothes. He had no money, and the doctor assumed he was intoxicated, so he made arrangements for Poe to sleep upstairs in the tavern and sent for Poe's uncle. When Poe's uncle arrived, he convinced the doctor Poe should go to the hospital. Poe was admitted to the hospital at 5 p.m. and placed, still unconscious, in a private room. So then on Thursday, October 4th, 1849, Poe regained consciousness but was incoherent and disoriented. He said he left a wife behind in Richmond, but did not know what happened to his trunk. He had tremors, sweating, delirium, and hallucinations. On Friday and Saturday, October 5th and 6th, 1849, still in a state of delirium, he called out the name Reynolds repeatedly and could not be calmed. On Sunday, October 7th, 1849, at 3 a.m., Poe was unable to rest briefly before quietly turning his head and saying, "Lord, help my poor poor soul before dying. There is no record of either a death certificate or an autopsy. So, kind of crazy, right? So, for your assignment, for after you're going to read, so the steps for this are you're going to read the Smithsonian article, The Still Mysterious Death of Edgar Allan Poe. Of the 9 theories she gives, you're going to pick the one you think is the most plausible. Pick one. Don't pick, I think 1, 2, and 3 may be possible. I think 4, 5, and 6 may be possible. You're picking the one that you think may be the most plausible. Then you're going to open a new Word document and you are going to type a paragraph telling me why the theory you picked is most likely using at least one piece of textual evidence from the article to support your claim. So basically, after you read the article, you are going to pick one thing from the article that you think is the most legitimate, and then after that, you are going to write a paragraph. And remember, a paragraph is at least 7 to 9 sentences using lengthy sentences, not little baby sentences, and you want to make sure that you are really explaining why you think the one you picked is correct, and you're going to use textual evidence from the Smithsonian article to support your points. On top of that, remember, anytime you use textual evidence, you need to cite your information. So that means you are going to go in and you are going to cite anything that you feel can support your point. Okay, so little brief introduction there. The next video you will be watching is going to be the video for Edgar Allan Poe's Smithsonian article. So you should go to that next. So if you have any questions, send me an email.